If you're buying a home with a VA loan or you're a seller who's been hesitant about accepting a VA offer, I need you to watch this because something just changed that's going to make a big difference. Effective May 1st, 2026, the VA just changed its minimum property requirements. These are also called MPRs, and it removed 5 things from the list that used to hold deals together or actually blow them up. I'm Melissa Anderson with eXp Realty right here in Northeast Florida, and today I'm breaking down exactly what happened, why it changed, why it matters, and what this means if you're trying to buy or sell a home in this market right now. So stay tuned. So, what are MPRs? Let's do a quick refresher first. When you're buying with the VA loan, the VA sends out an appraiser to do 2 things. One, confirm the home's market value and make sure that the property meets what they call minimum property requirements. And these are baseline standards. The home needs to be safe, sound, and sanitary. Think working roof, no major structural issues, functioning utilities, that kind of thing. Now, if the appraiser finds something that doesn't meet these requirements, the loan can't close until these items are fixed. The seller doesn't have to agree to it, but if they don't, the deal dies. You're done. So that's historically been one of the sticking points with VA loans. And these new changes, they directly address some of these most frustrating ones. We're going to go over them. So here are the 5 removed requirements. And these are the 5 things that the VA removed from the appraisal checklist that went into effect on May 1st, 2026. So just a few days ago. So one is outbuildings, barns, sheds, detached garages, those non-habitable structures on the property. They no longer have to meet MPR standards. Before this change, an appraiser could flag a worn down shed and it would it would hold up the entire loan. And that's done. 2 is radon. The radon requirement has been removed entirely. Radon testing is still a smart idea for any buyer, especially in certain regions, but it's no longer a VA requirement or a VA deal killer, we should say. And then paint on post 1978 homes. If the home was built after 1978 and has some peeling or chipping paint, that may now be considered cosmetic rather than a required repair. Pre-1978 homes still have lead paint considerations, but for newer homes, this is a big deal. Number 4 is non-vented fireplaces. The requirements around non-vented fireplaces are gone. This one was tricky in Florida. We typically don't use fireplaces the same way they do up north, but ventless units were sometimes flagged during appraisals. And then 5, non-vented heaters. So same thing, that requirement has been removed. So why does this matter? Here's why I'm excited about this new requirement in our market specifically. So here in Northeast Florida, we have a huge veteran and active duty military population from NAS Jacksonville, Camp Blanding, Mayport, and the families relocating here from bases all over the country. And VA buyers are a significant part of our buyer pool. And one of the biggest hesitations that I sometimes get from sellers is that they're super hesitant sometimes to accept a VA offer, especially if it's on an older home and they know that some of these things that were super minimum were going to hold up or maybe even kill the deal altogether. So one of the biggest hesitations I've seen from sellers in the past is that they'll accept a VA offer and then have the deal fall apart over an appraisal issue, especially one of these 5 minor things that we just went over. So these changes remove several of the common friction points. In a property with detached workshop that needs some work, not a problem anymore. A 1985 home with some minor exterior paint issues, no longer an automatic repair request. And this means that VA buyers now have more purchasing power and sellers have one less reason to hesitate when that VA offer comes in. All right, here's something that your loan officer needs to know. These changes apply to appraisals ordered after or on May 1st, 2026. Not closed, but ordered. So if you were already under contract and your appraisal was ordered before that date, these old rules still apply. Now, if your timeline applies and your appraisal hasn't been ordered yet, even if it was just by a day or two, it's worth a quick conversation with your lender to understand how this timing is going to affect you. All right, let's talk about quickly what hasn't changed. Now, I want to be clear about what hasn't changed because this isn't a free pass on your property inspection. The VA still requires your home to be safe, sanitary, and structurally sound. So major roof issues, HVAC problems, structural damage, active pest infestations, electrical hazards, those are still very much on the table. And a VA appraisal is still not the same thing as a home inspection. I always recommend that my buyers get a full inspection regardless of their loan type. The appraisal protects the lender and the inspection protects the buyer or you. So, to wrap this up, if you are an active duty service member, you're a veteran, and you're looking to buy a home here in Northeast Florida, this VA loan just got a little bit more flexible, and this is a great time to be in the market. And if you're a seller or a seller's agent, the VA offers deserve a second look. Let's not be so quick to cut them off. These changes reduce the appraisal risk, and that has made some sellers nervous in the past. If you want to talk through what this means for you, whether you're relocating here or looking for your next home in Northeast Florida, or just starting to explore what VA financing can do for you, reach out because I am here for it. Now, here's some things that I'm going to ask of you. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments because I read every single one. Or you can always use my contact information that I'm going to include here and also in the video description to reach out. You can call, text, email. Also, if you found this helpful, please give this video a thumbs up so it can reach even more people or more veterans who need to know about this information. And then subscribe if you're exploring a move here to Northeast Florida so you can hear all about the changing market. And lastly, subscribe if you are looking or exploring a move here to Northeast Florida. And just out of curiosity, have you ever used your VA loan where it's been held up due to this appraisal and maybe the deal fell through or it was just a headache? If so, give me your scenario, what happened to you in the comments because I'm curious. I've had several instances where this has been an issue, especially when a veteran has been trying to purchase maybe an older home. The seller's just trying to do as is. They don't want to do any repairs and it's definitely fallen through. Or the sellers just have been super hesitant about accepting a VA loan, which I think is an absolute shame. And I know another thing that used to hold that up is because they used to say, well, it would take too long for a VA loan to go through, but that is absolutely not the case anymore. I just recently had one go through in less than 3 weeks. It was insanely fast. So don't discount the veterans if you're a seller and using the VA loan. Also, I know as a Air Force veteran myself and using my VA loan, this is something I'm really excited about. And especially if I choose to purchase an older home in the future, or I just know it's going to be an easier process and maybe there won't be so much hesitancy as well from sellers when they see my VA offer come through. I hope you found this video helpful, and until next time.